Hey everyone, welcome to episode 25 of Toy Collector Showcase. So, me and Ryan are going to be talking about Police Academy, the cartoon, the movies, and the crash test dummies. But yeah, Ryan, you want to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? Richard and Ryan here. You can catch me live every Tuesday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, taking your 80s, 90s game requests and playing you 80s, 90s game and toy footage. Yeah, Police Academy toys and crash test dummies. I definitely had my fair share back in the day. And the Police Academy toys in particular, it was a bit of an odd phenomenon, I gotta say, looking back, because it's a toy line that a lot of kids were getting, and yet it was kind of smack dab in the middle of Ghostbusters and Real Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where those were kind of maybe the favored toys.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess maybe when people were in your family or friends questioning, what should you get them for your birthday, these kind of got thrown in the mix, as gifts you would get. And I just remember having a few and friends having a few, and it was just one of those kind of, I call it almost like a flash in the pan. Like it was kind of a lot of kids had it, and then it was done. Whereas like Real Ghostbusters and Turtles, I mean, that was for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
This was just like one of those, like, one year it was hot. It was what was hot in the streets. Police Academy toys. You saw them and then you didn't. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching the movies. I don't remember watching the cartoon at all, and I never had any of the toys. But I mean,
Yeah,
because
the movies, there's like 100 of them. There's like five, like five.
and you think about it too, because you talked about Turtles and the Ghostbusters. Those were the two of the ones that I was collecting. So
Yeah.
anytime everybody was like, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday or Christmas?" It's like these things instead of, So I don't know, because I guess I wasn't watching the cartoon. I preferred the live action movie. Um, I just completely missed out on it.
I can make guesses to what I think helped the appeal,
Hmm.
because if you look at the fright features for Real Ghostbusters, these had kind of that silly, wacky stuff. So like the one guy's tie would flip up, the one guy's head was like on like a bobble, would jump around. One guy, you pull his arm, he's got like a pointy cone head. I mean, they're just like that kind of. We were looking for that kind of toy at that time. It was a new thing, these kind of wacky features in toys, and there's a sense of humor to it.
Well, and the funny thing is that it was great. I mean, looking back at some of these stuff, like retrospectively, they look cool. But something we're not talking about is the fact that you mentioned Ghostbusters, right?
Yep.
And these figures, both of them were made by Kenner.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
mhm. Yeah.
Whoever their sculptors were, their idea men behind the scenes, were applying the same kind of gimmicks and little fun features into this toy line.
So were they the same size, or were they slightly smaller than the real Ghostbuster figures?
It's hard to say because they all the characters kind of vary in height.
Hmm.
I feel like some are kind of big, some are tall. You know, I would say they're right around that 5-inch scale.
Yeah, so. I mean, they kind of would work because I mean, you think about like the main four Ghostbusters, right? They had normal proportions. They weren't like they were animated, but they weren't like the Police Academy figures where they were just a bit exaggerated, you know.
Yeah,
But they did represent the cartoon enough, and that's what it was kind of going for, was that exaggerated look, because they couldn't get the likenesses for the Steve Gutenberg and all them, Kim Cattrall to come back in for this cartoon, so they had to stylize it.
I'll
Um,
tell you what though. I was looking back. I added the Police Academy cartoon to my archive,
mhm.
and the animation's pretty good. It looks, it's, and I'm pretty fussy about animation, if I like how it looks or not. I like a lot of detail. It looks good. The show looks good. Um, and it went around like 50 episodes, I think.
Yeah. I know I think I did catch maybe a few episodes, but I think it was later on. I never watched it in the prime, when it was coming on.
Yeah.
I did watch the Crash Test Dummies, let's moving into that real quick. And I always wanted the toys, but I never got any. But my friends did. It's like, was it Food Fighters and stuff? Like I wanted some of that stuff, but I never got them. But my best friend Jeff and other buddies I grew up with in the apartment we lived in, like they had it, so I played with theirs. But it was cool with those toys that like they kind of fit well with the turtles. So,
And before we even get into it, it's just like last week, okay? Because Police Academy toys, they're very affordable on eBay.
mm-hmm.
The Crash Test Dummies are not. And the reason being is it makes sense that whenever you put all the pieces on the Crash Test Dummies, all the arms and legs, you press that button and they explode. So it's easy to understand how they could get misplaced or lost. You lose the limb, you lose the arm, you lose the whatever. So they are not cheap, the Crash Test Dummies, to get. A lot of missing parts in that line.
Something I did notice though is that if you look at the box for both, they both have this like red and yellow color scheme for the advertisements. So as we go through this, you're gonna notice it. But yeah, man, we all used to watch those commercials of like, wear a seatbelt, and then they'd show what a car would look like with the Crash Test Dummies hitting the wall, and then they were like, I guess our generation was like, love that stuff, so they figured, let's make a cartoon of it. It'd be cool to have some toys of this. I'd love.
Dude, it's almost unfair the amount of shows that were competing for attention and airtime,
Mm-hmm.
and competing for toy sales. And I mean, this is just like it's like almost inconceivable how many shows we were watching and we managed to keep up with. But a lot of them you would just catch one or few, like you just said, a few episodes, and you'd kind of watch your favorites. But when you look back and you dig, you realize the quality was there on almost all these shows.
Oh yeah, because like there's toy brands we even talked about that had fantastic cartoon shows with the best theme songs. But yeah, no, you're right. And
even when they were shows that would last one season,
mm-hmm.
they felt shortchanged. Like they could have gone longer. They had a lot of potential. There's so many cases of that too. And even if you just watch the one season, you're still kind of impressed. Like, okay, they put their time and effort into this, It's not like a case of like, with sitcoms that came and went in the 80s and 90s, sometimes something would last a season and the writing's on the wall, right? You're like, that was a piece of shit show. I get it why it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Or that cast sucked. There's no dynamics, right?
Yep.
No, this wasn't the case with these cartoons. You'd watch them and you're like, this is a shame this didn't keep going.
Well, that's one of the ones too we haven't even talked about was the Real Warriors, but the cartoon was called Jason the Real Warriors. The problem with that show was, or the toys brand anyway, is that you had characters in the show, but there was no toys representing the characters. You just the vehicles, and that was a bad marketing decision. And that would happen a lot of times with figures and stuff, or cartoons, and that would be the thing that would be the nail in the coffin for a TV show. The TV show was going really well, but the toy sales were really poor, so they canceled the show. Or vice versa, the show wasn't doing really well, the toys got canceled. And then sometimes they just became obscure, lost in the shelves of every other toy that was there. So yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with you. It's sad too because, like, I haven't watched either one of those cartoons in like forever, so it's like I barely remember like some of the stuff. But looking at the toys, I'm like, okay, I remember why some certain things were like they were. But it's cool to dive back into these things, look at them, and have a older perspective looking at these things, and then being filled with the nostalgia as we go through them again. So it's one of the things I love about doing the show with you, man. So anything else you want to add before we get into the show? I mean, like the toys and stuff? Brian? I think I lost Ryan. Let me check something. Let me check. Oh, he's muted. So something must be going on. Okay. Um. Yeah, but like I don't know. I mean, it was a really good time for cartoons at this time. Um. So I'm would love to get into this. Give me a second, guys. Let me go ahead and pull up the Police Academy toys.
Nice. Somebody just walked by. I had to.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries at all. Okay, making sure that everything's up. Good. All right, so let me.
This was a line, by the way. One of the fun things about collecting, man, and you know I'm the vintage. Of the two of us, we have a nice dichotomy because I'm the more of the vintage guy. Vince is more of the modern guy. Yet we both have both of each, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of modern toys still, a lot of NECA stuff, a lot of Super 7. But my main focus, I'd say 60% of my collection is probably vintage and 40s. Modern, where Vince is the opposite. Vince is more probably 60-70% modern and 30% vintage. But what was nice about these kind of lines, they're kind of like it's like if you were to grade stuff on an A to like Z tier. I go through my A's and B's and C's, my really stuff I have to get most of the Motu, get most of the real Ghostbusters, get most of the X-Men toy biz, stuff like that. But then after you finish all that, I'm like, I got to get a few of these Police Academy toys. I remember these fondly. I got to get a few of these, like some of the other lines that came in at that point later on was like, I got to get some of these Visionaries. I got to get some of these Supernaturals. So, but it's kind of fun adding those because they're a little bit more obscure into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that part of collecting when you mix in some of the lesser loved stuff because it just fills out the collection. I could never have a collection, Vince, that's like 3 lines.
No,
that would bore the fuck out of me, dude. I don't want a collection like that. And I would take my collection any day over like if I just collected 3 lines and they're super complete. That bores me, dude. I'd rather have like kind of a good selection of each line and all the ones I loved, like, because there's just so much variation.
Oh yeah, I mean, for a while there, like I didn't, I had all my most of my stuff from back when I was a kid. I mean, I've lost some of it, gave some of it away, kind of curated down to a small amount, and then back when, was it 2007? Hasbro released the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary line, which was a re-release of the G.I. Joe line, but with new articulation, more cartoon accurate, had just about the accessories, had the file cards like they were back in the day, so it was just pure nostalgia. So now I had like something that represented my childhood and the cartoon I enjoyed, and then I could display it. So that was the thing that really kind of like moved me back in hardcore into collecting as far as toys. I mean, I've always collected, but like I would go through phases. Like I would start doing the Star Wars, all the stuff from the prequels, and then whenever they were, because we were doing all the before the vintage, it was the standard 3.75 style GI Joe, but Star Wars figures. And the great thing about that is that you like had a great variety of characters and stuff, and like if you ask any of my friends, I would literally have them on the wall like I do the Spider-Man figures, and it was just cool. It's just like this wall of figures. And but I'd always collected Transformers, but it wasn't until like really when the Generation stuff came in, where they were trying to recapture the G1 feel, they were kind of modernizing them, that I really dived back into it, because it's like, okay, I enjoy Armada, I enjoy our Energon, but it wasn't really my thing. I really liked Robots in Disguise, and Beast Wars and stuff. But this was like, this is what I wanted, was that generation stuff, and then it just expanded beyond that, and I've just been collecting stuff since, you know. So I have like you said, I probably have maybe 40% of my figures are vintage stuff from my childhood that I've either kept or repicked up, but then the rest of it's like modern stuff. But some of that stuff is now vintage in itself, because you know, things that I picked
Even
up.
2000 stuff is vintage.
Yeah, I mean, because like looking at the Final Fantasy Advent Children figures, you had some of those Spawn figures. There's a large variety of things that, you know, we collected back then that now is vintage. You know, it may not be what some people consider vintage, but it is. I mean, you know, 2000. That's 45 years ago, right? You know, not 45, 25 years ago. What, man? Get my math right, Vince. Anyway, this is the fatigue brain talking. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to have a brain lapse there.
But it's like when I show you my game room that's mostly full of toys too, it's like I would honestly think you'd be kind of bored with that if I had the same kind of collection you do.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that we're like the missing link to each other's collections, right? When you see mine, you see that all that stuff you remember, but you don't own that. And when I see yours, I see a lot of modern stuff that I know about, but I don't own that. And so it makes it more interesting than if we had kind of like a copycat collection, you know? And we have our own specialties within that.
Well, and that's one of the cool things about that anyway, is that, you know, I don't necessarily like, so Josh collects similar to I do, but he doesn't collect similar to I do because there's other things he collects. But it's like, that's where our commonality is finding the toy brands that we both gravitate to, and we can go like, okay, we have that similar background. Now what else do you have that I don't have? And I'd love to know your stories about how you got there, what you know, because like Josh is a big wrestling guy, and so he has tons of those wrestling figures, you know.
I know, and that's why, like with him, I was telling him I only do Hasbro. I only do 90s Hasbro, because if I was to get into that, like I seen the amount he has, and when you collect wrestling, that could be all your money just in that. It's so expensive. There's so many figures they put out by the ass load. Every outfit the wrestler wore, every variation, every transition they went through. So I just stuck to one, that Hasbro 90s, which I remembered from my childhood. So yeah, it's like I could see why he said I just have these three I focus on, because if he's getting everything that speaks to him, that's going to take all his money.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're looking at the fact that Hasbro right now, every 3 months they go, oh hey, here's another 7 figures plus a vehicle, and then something special that's going to be a Target exclusive for G.I. Joe Classified. And it's like, that's expensive. I mean, and then on top of that, there's Transformers, there's Star Wars, which Star Wars is getting a little easier not to collect for, because, you know, of all the other Disney garbage that we had been getting. I only want the prequels and the original trilogy stuff, or expanded universe. I don't want anything from the sequel trilogy, unless it's Mandalorian, which I don't really consider that part of that universe. But you know, I can have my own headcanon.
Star Wars, just a side note that we've always talked about. But Star Wars, they should really make an easy way to army build your stormtroopers. They got to give you a 5-pack.
Exactly.
I don't know why they don't think of that. They're really stupid that they know, because all the fans do that anyway, and we shouldn't have to do that on our own and get ripped off.
I have tons of stormtroopers.
They need to give us a 5 or a 10-pack of the small size ones or the Black Series, and just give that to us, because we all need that.
Well, they've been doing these. What they've been doing is they do like just recently, and I want to answer a question that Lo had too, but like I want to get this out real quick. They've been doing like army builder waves. Well, it's like, okay, so even with G.I. Joe, you had a Steel Brigader and the Iron Grenadier 2-pack, and you could buy a bunch of those if you wanted to army build. Same thing with Star Wars. They had, for the Black Series, they did the Clone Trooper and the Battle Droid 2-pack. Then you just buy a bunch of those to army build. because
And they need to do with foot soldiers for turtles.
oh yeah. Well, that was what was cool. Like when NECA in the back in the day was like NECA would go, all right, here we go. You got 2 foot soldiers, either from the movie or from the cartoon. Or they didn't like. Then it was like, all right, so we do these 2-packs, so we're gonna have April with a foot soldier, or Casey with a foot soldier, or this person with a foot soldier. So it was like it added this extra level to it, to make it a little bit easier. But the problem is like these days with collecting, you run the risk of like, because they don't produce enough, that other collectors and scalpers are going to go out and snipe these things before you can go get them. And then it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm out of the loop because they didn't want to produce enough. And it's like, you should know your market. You should know what the numbers are based on what is ordered at like your retail stores and your online stores. But yeah, so Lo had asked a question. She goes, so like retro versus vintage are different meanings? No, technically they're the same thing. But then again, there is vintage things that like, so think about comics, right? There's the Golden Age, Silver Age, the Bronze Age, the Modern Age, and I think there's like 2 other classifications for that. Any of that like beginning of the comic book industry, like, you know, early X-Men, 1939 Batman, stuff like that, that's usually going to be your vintage. You know, it's weird in the video game world, or gamers, we like to call everything retro. And I'm not saying this because, you know, Retro Ryan is my co-host. I'm just saying is like, we love this term retro because it just sounds cool. It's like 90s nostalgia cool. Like you think when you hear retro, it's like neon orange and neon green with like slime and surfboards and skateboards and stuff.
But to simplify it for her, how I mean it, I literally mean, Lo, that 70% of my collection was produced in the 80s and 90s. Those toys were all made in the 80s and 90s. They're old toys. Whereas Vince has more toys from the 2000s and up, the 2010s up, that are being made now. So Vince is more the last 20 years. I'm more 80s and 90s. So 30 to 40 years ago. As far as when the toys were actually made by these companies, they made the toys then, is more of my collection.
I think
because I don't want to get confused about that's what I mean when I said,
whoa, okay,
more of mine are vintage. More of mine are actually from 80s and 90s, whereas Vince's are more last 10 to 20 years they were made.
I would say
the confusing part is that they're all based on vintage IPs, right? That's where the confusion is. Because like mine are 80s, 90s, but like you have G.I. Joes, that's a vintage toy line, but they're being made now still. You know, that's where the gray area is.
Right, because you can get remade, like the Ghostbusters, you know, you can get reproduced versions of the ones you had as a kid.
Yeah.
Like going to what my dad said. So the best way to do it is like, if anything that is well past your lifetime, right? That came out, like maybe say 40 years past, before you were born, you could say that, or 100 years, that's an antique, like Dad's saying, right? I look at it this way. Vintage is, like, how would you describe that? Because retro, so this is at least my thought process on it. When you use the term vintage, it can be something that is produced within your lifetime that you experienced, right? Retro, or actually no, retro would be that for you personally. Vintage would be someone on the outside, like my son coming into this stuff. He doesn't have any experience with it, but he would say, this is vintage. I don't know, maybe it's like how my brain is working on it at the moment. Like, it depends on where
it's not easy to explain.
And it's not easy to explain. Especially depending on what you're talking about, because it has different connotations or meanings within each medium that is out there. You know, you could collect books, and that has a whole different thing. Because most of the time, that stuff isn't called retro; it's called vintage, or it's an antique, or it's first editions. That's that kind of thing. That's a good question, though. That's a very, very good question.
The way that what I do a lot, low, is for my loose toys. Okay, let me try to say this in the quickest way I can. For like the 80s, 90s toys that I buy, the only affordable way to get a lot of these figures of each line from the 80s and 90s is usually I buy them loose in lots on eBay. Okay. Now, when I want stuff on card for display, low, I'll get the new reissues of them. Does that make sense? So you get the best of both worlds. You get like your real Ghostbusters reissues on card for display, but I own the originals vintage loose. Does that make sense? So I have the stuff I grew up with because I can't afford new on card 80s old stock, right? Too much money. Don't want to jump into that. It's too messy.
It is now.
And I do the same for Playmates Turtles. I have the first 3 years of those toy lines for Playmates Turtles loose, every figure with their weapons. But when I want to display them carded, I get the reissues because they're only $10 each on card. And I put that up on the wall. So does that make sense? So I say that because I think that's a good strategy for collectors. Because who has $100 for like each Turtles figure? I don't. I'm not a plastic surgery doctor. I'm not, a high price lawyer. Those are the guys that would have that kind of money to spend $100 a toy on card.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the next best thing.
Well, I mean, considering you can get so you can go for vintage, right, and pay $100 or plus for a carded Leo, Don. Like, just say like for $200 you can get the 4 Turtles plus. Actually, I'd say maybe $300 you could probably get the whole first wave of the Turtles, maybe, right?
Yeah.
On card, maybe a little bit more, but I'm just estimating. Versus like you could now, for less than that, get most of the Turtles on card that are reissues. They're same old, using probably the same plastic, same paint job. All the thing, basically everything is.
Some of the paint job's a little not as good. Some of the paint is not, like, they cut some corners. Like Bebop has all black pants. They don't paint his belt. Just like as one example, But upon first look, it's close.
Yeah. And I without having to look, I'm probably pretty sure it's going to be like to get the first tire wave, it's probably going to be $500, honestly. But like if you were to buy any card, if you were to go to Target, or your local big box retailer that actually supplies the TMNT reissues by Mattel, they're going to be like $15, which is the sweet spot, right now as far as collecting. Same thing with Motu figures, the Motu Origin stuff. You're going to be able to get those for between $15 to $20.
Which is the same exact strategy I did for Motu Origins. So I have all my vintage He-Man that were made in the 80s and 90s loose, and all my on-card Motu are the Origins because they were affordable. And I really think that that's a pro tip for any collector. Now, we could have purists and guys that are really like turn their nose up and be like, no, I only collect, everything has to be vintage 80s, 90s. Well, even as much as I love vintage, I don't go that highfalutin with that. I don't mind it. It's close enough for me.
My fingers don't touch plastic that's manufactured today. I want the toxin and the radiation that was in the plastic from 30 years ago. Oh yeah, I know. I mean,
I'm sure, like, if enough people heard this episode, they would beat me up in the comments about saying that's a pro tip. Oh, I don't want reissues. The reissues suck, Ryan. You're an idiot. If you collect vintage toys loose, you need to collect vintage on card.
Hey,
because that's the only way to do it. But I say it's a pro tip because it's a way for a collector to have everything and not break your bank.
well, and on top of that, we do know certain people that go and say that all modern toys suck, and
Yeah.
they'd say that sitting there stumbling my words here, but trying to say this a certain way, that if you're not gaming on original hardware, are you really gaming? So yeah, maybe shots fired, but I'll leave it at that. But it's like, have fun with it. Don't break the bank. Don't go out and do what speaks to you. Like, if you see something that gravitates to you, and if it's within your price range and you can afford it, go for it. If not, look for other options or talk to other collectors. Hey, make connections in different groups to be able to find the things you're looking for, because you might be able to find some really good deals. Because a lot of times there are collectors out there that are sellers that actually want to help other collectors. They're not in it just for the money or monetization.
And dude, honestly, Vince, if I even was a millionaire and I was collecting
Mm-hmm.
for Star Wars, I still wouldn't buy like vintage Kenner card at those prices.
No.
Thousands and thousands of dollars, some of those carded figures. I just wouldn't do it. It's just not. Just give me the reissue. I don't have that kind of pride. I don't have that kind of ego about it.
Dude,
I just give me the figure. It's the same fucking molds.
you can ask my dad. There was when I was younger, I thought I wanted a job that was going to pay me enough money to do whatever, but I'd have that money to be able to go and make giant dioramas in my house. Like, I wanted to have this giant pool that had a giant GI Joe display. There was some whales, the USS Flag, the Cobra hydrofoils, and all that stuff. I wanted to make a giant diorama to display my stuff. That's what I wanted to do as a kid. And it's so if I was a millionaire or a doctor or whatever, lawyer, that's what I would do. I wouldn't be buying all this stuff. I'd be like, I'm gonna get what I can, but I want to make these giant epic display sets. But all right, I think we've gone long enough. Let's get into
On tangents. Yeah, we did a lot of tangents, but it's important we explain the difference in what each of our collections is like and break it down. The difference between retro, vintage,
Mm-hmm.
when we have, when one of us has figures from the 80s, 90s, and one of us has figures from the last 20 years, there are differences there, because otherwise people aren't going to know what we mean.
Right, exactly. I mean, and we got to explain our perspective, as well as the fact that you think of, this is a show talking about toys. It is technically, in a way, a podcast talking about, whatever toy brand at the time, with visual representation. So, as long as we got a good show and everybody's happy, then we're good, right? But, so, let's look at the place. So what I did was, instead of doing, because I don't want to have to go through like this, right? There's only 27 items within the Police Academy line. I don't want to go through each one. I want to just actually click on, and then we'll go through each thing. So first up, we can look at the play sets. Let's look at the Precinct Police Station, which is just the Ghostbusters Firehouse. Retooled to be a police station.
Which is hilarious.
Oh, it is. And it has such different play features than the actual Ghostbusters Firehouse. You got this giant freaking, jail cell here, and then they've added other play fixtures where the chair's gonna fall out. There's a ladder going up to the roof. I wonder how many people actually got this and then they converted it into the Ghostbusters Firehouse.
I still wouldn't mind having it.
No, that's pretty badass, man. Honestly. Okay, so this is all the pictures we get for this one. It's just the box. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, you get some good representation of what you've got going on.
The Cadets Jailhouse Headquarters.
To serve and protect.
Yeah, but that is really just the last word on that. Low, if you want the easiest way to think of the difference between me and Vince's collections, mine is mostly figures that were made in the 80s and 90s. His is mostly figures that were made in the 2000s, 2010s, and current. So that's really, if you strip it down to bare minimum, to just forget about the retro term, vintage term, whatever. Throw it out the window because it gets too convoluted and it doesn't really matter.
It
But
doesn't.
thinking about like at bare minimum what makes sense, that makes sense about what the majority of what our collections are.
What up, Chris? All right, so yes, Chris James
And
is
Chris
here.
loves the Crash Test Dummies.
Oh, so that's what he's here for. Okay. All right.
Here for that.
We'll get there at some point. Just make sure you stay tuned. All right.
Because you know what's funny? I didn't know what they cost until he had me look into it, and I'm like, Chris, bad news. These figures are a fucking fortune. He was like, Ryan, look into it for me. Tell me how much those figures are. And when I did, it's not good. They were expensive.
So, please tell me I'm not the only one who has like a weird feeling about this box here with this copper corner.
Yeah, what is going on with the guy behind the other guy?
Yeah. CLP.
Yeah, I figured that would kind of simplify it, Lo.
Yeah,
Oh,
please
this
don't
is the
remind me.
Spanish version. Look, it's all in Spanish.
Yeah, it is in Spanish.
We might not have even got that one in the States.
Probably not. It's goofy looking, but it's like, what is going on? All right, there's no images for that. Not much I can say about it. Other than that, it's a jail sale. All right, so we did get some role-playing stuff. We got the cadet set.
That's awesome, Chris. Congrats on your new cat.
Oh, congrats, man. Next, you new member of the family. Sweet.
You gotta post that in Cats Rule, Chris. My Cats Rule section.
This definitely is the Spanish version, I'm sure, as well. Boxes in Spanish. Yep. So looks like you got a walkie-talkie or some kind of megaphone, a police hat, and a billy club or a nightstick. Not much to say about that. I mean,
Yeah, that's not something I would have wanted.
I mean, I love role-playing stuff, but
Yeah, I would take the Ghostbusters cosplay stuff that they had over that.
hey, check it out. You got some spray cans or gas gusters. So laughing gas and crying gas.
Did you take in a stray, Chris, or did you go to like a shelter and get them? So what do these do? These gas gushers?
I don't know. I think they're role playing. So like if you had one of your friends that want to be a crook, they could have used those. And then you got handcuffs here.
Wow, this is really awesome because I haven't seen a lot of this stuff in this line.
You went to a shelter? Okay.
That's cool, man.
Talk about the man putting the hands on you. Now, a loudmouth bullhorn? That would be awesome. That would have drove my dad nuts.
Stop, thief. Make 4 different fun sounds. Why does the dude with the cone head kind of look like Conan?
Conan O'Brien.
Look what he's saying. Stop, thief. Kind of looks like Conan.
It does look like Conan O'Brien. That's hilarious.
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Something about that face.
You always
We
make
always
me
make me
buy
want to buy
toys.
toys.
That's why I can't be friends. You guys need to remember a lot of these toys for those lines weren't released in the States. That is true. Some of the accessories and stuff, yeah. You want a wacky badge? Or a wacky wallet, Ryan? This is 48 cents? Wow. I don't know if I'd want that or not. Alright, so here we go. We got Mahoney. Sorry, but Samson's dog looks like frickin' a pound puppy. Free Captain Harris with figures proof of purchase. 3 of them. That's pretty cool. Theme toys were cool for boys and girls. Yeah, that is 100% true. Figures too, especially if it ended its U.S. run. Yeah. Actor Steve Guttenberg. There you go. Law with mouse or cat. So he's a cat burglar. Okay, I might need to wait till Ryan gets back. You there, man? Brian? He keeps on muting and muting. Can you hear me? You having audio issues, or is it just... All right, folks, hold on. We may have some technical difficulties trying to figure it out right now. Brian, if you need to, just drop out and come back in if it's having some audio issues. That's weird. Okay, well, what I'll do is this. Just talk to you fine young audience members that we have watching us. So how's everyone doing? You guys.
You can go back. Somebody came by. I had to deal
Okay,
with.
okay, all right. So just making sure. All right, no problem.
So what are we on now?
Well, I'm gonna go back.
We did Mahoney.
We're gonna go back to Mahoney. So I wanted to make sure we did these with you. So
Is he the one that drops his pants?
no. This is just regular Steve Gutenberg goofiness.
Because there's one that drops his pants.
Yeah, no, that's not him. So as I was saying, the Samson's dog looks like a pound puppy.
And I had this figure, and I like the dog. It's like it had air in it.
Mm-hmm.
When you squeeze it, it's like air.
So you could actually put it in water and squirt it out its mouth or something?
Probably.
Very, very basic card art, right? I mean, at least you get pictures of it. I mean, there was a mail-away figure for the captain.
It's hard to put like a... It's hard to know why something appeals to like an 8-year-old, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you this line appealed to me then. Like, I look at it now, and I'm a little bit more confused about what was appealing about it to me. You know what I mean? Like, when you just seen a card art or a toy, and you're just like, I gotta have it. As an 8-year-old, you got to put yourself into that mindset, because it's a different mindset than we're in now. It's a little bit different. We're not the same person we were then.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's like what fancied our imagination at the time.
Yeah, I was definitely like what, 7 at the time? So I mean, both me and you would have been younger for this line. At least when it released in '88.
You know what appealed to me too at that time though? It's like some almost like those non-Disney movies. Like because I don't think the one like Oliver and Company, I don't think, was that Disney? I don't think that was Disney.
No, it was Disney, and it was a limited release. Yeah.
But wasn't it Billy Joel singing on that?
Mm-hmm. It was Billy Joel. Yeah, played the character.
I think, okay, so it was Disney. But that kind of like look to that, where the dogs looked, I feel like that dog, and there's like that All Dogs Go to Heaven movie, like that look kind of plays into the way that dog from Mahoney looked.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that kind of aesthetic back then kind of appealed to me, based on like those movies around that time, and you know, and just the fun nature of this toy line.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's definitely, you get that appeal. I mean, you got a cat burglar here named a Claw with his Mouser cat,
which is awesome. It's got a cat.
He's got that mustache, like he's a crook. Nothing much to see, but at least you get to see these cards. I wonder what these go for, honestly.
Oh, not much. I say 10 to 15. When I say like stuff that's, you know, anything that's in a 10, 15, 20, even $25 range, I usually like to say that it's fairly affordable for vintage 80s, 90s. It's when you get into 50 and above, I say stuff gets pretty pricey in my mind, but everybody's going to have a different measurement on what they think's expensive. But I say that's a bargain, because 10 to 25 is still, like, even today,
not
what
bad.
New figures go for.
Yeah, exactly.
So I look at it like that. Like, if a 80s, 90s toy carded new is still like what toys cost off the aisle at Target,
mm-hmm.
then that's still not bad. So I say that's affordable.
10 and above for me, lol. So this was fun. Something I found interesting is that like there was some after the '80s there was some regulations that happened with production of toys and stuff. So everything's started to go outsourced into China and other countries to produce the toys that we were getting, and that's why like some of the costs went up. They were making it cheaper abroad, but then the shipping costs and stuff. And you know, you think about the fact that we're now going to be dealing with that nonsense of tariffs and shit. How much toys are going to go up in production, like or cost wise.
I looked at something, and they said that the truck that a truck. They said today that a truck that's 80,000 is 100,000 now after the tariffs.
Yeah,
It's significant. So, what does that mean? If an $80,000 truck goes up to 100,000, is that a 25% increase? Almost, at least.
or at 20%. Yeah, 25. Yep.
Somewhere
Yeah.
there, 20 to 25% increase, and that's the difference between, say, if it's like for a 50,000, like a $40,000 car going up to 60, that could be the difference of you can get that car or you can't get that car.
Mm-hmm.
That tariff.
Yeah, it's definitely
You know?
it's definitely going to affect all industries and everybody's pocket. People don't pay attention. They think it's okay, and it's like, no, it's not.
So if it's like it'd be a $20 toy going up to 30,
Mm-hmm.
people may leave it on the aisle.
Well, yeah, but
Pass on it
you
for
well, think
that.
about it, right? So a toy figure that's going to go from 25 to 30, maybe $32 on the Hasbro end, and then you look at right now, NECA stuff is anywhere between 34 to $40.
And in NECA at one point you could get them on sale for 20.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have
Either
Super
through, like,
7,
the Twitter coupons.
right? Mm-hmm. Then you're gonna have Super 7 shit, like fucking prices for a NECA stuff or other toys. Like these things that we enjoy as a hobby are gonna go out the window because we just can't afford it. So here we go. We got Eugene Tackleberry, the man who loved bigger guns, all guns.
And he's got the little visor that comes down, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the black piece that goes on him?
That's supposed to be a armored flak vest with the bullets all on it. It's like selling guns to kids, and a toy brand. Some of the stuff is really detailed, man. He's got a bazooka in here, some weird assault rifle with like no handle. That I don't know.
Raising arms, a huge weapon.
Huge.
Man, this was 1988. Wow, I was 4 years old when I had these toys.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder they kind of appealed to me that they're goofy.
Larvell Jones, which is what isn't this Michael Winslow's character? Yep. Comes with a bullhorn and a radio. One of my favorite characters in the movie, and one of my favorite stand-up comedians.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah. Anything else to say about him?
Michael Winslow. No, I love the massive megaphone.
Yeah. Which he didn't even need. He would have never needed, like, just because the way he could throw his voice and stuff.
Kind of looks like the dude from Alien.
I could see it.
Remember he had the bandana?
Mm-hmm.
Like a red bandana. Is that he had like a flamethrower in it or no?
Oh, you talking about what, Brett? I think it is. Dad, don't. Man, like I haven't seen Aliens in a while, and like I know that's his movie, but I think it's Brett. But you got Hightower. He looks like he's gonna break his foot off in somebody's ass.
From the actor Bubba Smith.
Mm-hmm. I actually like that, like who they're supposed to be modeled after, of the actor who played him. This dude is really top heavy. And it looks like he was riding a horse since he was a child. I just like, of all the figures that we're sitting here looking at, right? There hasn't been one, other than right now so far, Hightower, that has a image of the figure just out of the package. And one of the images to show his small ass.
Ah!
Oh, you see it now? Okay, I'm just waiting for you to see it.
Dude, that is ridiculous. That's why they call him Hightower.
It's so he can ride his little small scooter, right?
How does he even get his butt cheeks on a toilet? Like they'd like his cheeks wouldn't even sit on the toilet. It would sit like between the toilet
Yeah,
rim.
it's like, yeah, that whole thing where, like, as you get older, men's parts tend to sag, and you can touch the water, but I guess his ass touches the water.
Yeah, if he sat on a toilet, his butt cheeks would go right to the water. They wouldn't rest on the rim.
Hmm.
And what is his accessory?
A scooter.
A scooter?
Yeah, scooter.
They did High Top dirty with the scooter.
Oh, they did.
Dude, imagine trying to take a cop seriously on a scooter. Who goes there? Stop.
I'm gonna catch up to you eventually. We got what? Dr. Sleaze. He just looks like a bad guy. He's got that weird ass
He looks like-
hairdo.
He's had his teeth whitened.
Oh,
He
that
definitely looks like he's
that he did.
brushed and flossed well.
With Foo Dog. Hands up, tie what, and with the gasser gun. Don't know what that means.
This guy looking like like death proof, death looking like Death Wish.
Oh yeah,
Looking like what's that guy's name from Death Wish? Doesn't look just like him.
he does. Oh man.
God damn it! What is it, Charles something?
Yeah, Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson.
We got the fucking Charles Bronson, the figure, Mr. Sleaze.
Well, he looks like he's the backstage roadie, the guy that he's like the manager of some band of girls.
You know what's funny too? He's got that long, wide tie, like the Donald likes to wear to hide his big fucking gut.
Oh, like
What's that big, long tie on? It's like 100 feet long.
the
Drapes it over his gut, Mr. Sleaze.
freaking that Saturday Night Live episode, the cold opening, right when
Listen,
his
guys out there, if you guys ever put on a tie and it's lower than your Johnson, your tie's too fucking
too
pull
long,
your tie up.
too long.
Okay, your tie does not go below your Johnson. It's not a wiener flap. It's a tie. You know where your tie is supposed to go? It's supposed to touch your belt, not go below your ball sack.
Yeah, because you know
Like
what happens
the
when
Donald wears.
because I mean he's got to like part it to the side if he has to go piss. And whoever misses and actually gets it on the tie, he comes back into the office like, what? Why is your tie wet? Oh, and he has to run and take it off.
And he's got a dog?
Yep, he's got a poodle. I'm really not sure how this works. I guess you put the
The dog's name is Fufu?
Fufu, the dog. Numbskull.
Can you imagine like what our friends would do to us if like we showed up to prom with like a tie below our Johnson? Like wearing a tie like that? They'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? They'd smack the shit out of it. Like you'd get your ass beat wearing a tie below your dong in high school.
No, I think you get your ass.
People would be like, what the f are you doing with this tie?
Jeez, that's crazy.
So I like this cone head, numbskull. I have this at home.
So is this Chris Farley and whatever her name was who played? That's their kid, like later on in life.
Yeah, like if they had a kid.
Villain. He became a villain. So he's either Screwhead or Hammerhead. He comes with smashing helmets. What do
His left arm that you pull on and make his like head go up.
and spin?
Kind of looks like he's about to spank somebody.
He's like,
He
I'm
looks
gonna.
like he's ready to spank somebody. I'm gonna spank that ass.
All right, I've come here to screw and spank. I forgot my Screwhead. It's got that purple and green attire with the white
I didn't know
pants.
Floss from Goonies had a Police Academy figure.
Right? Hey, you guys.
You guys.
And then we got Zed.
And this one wasn't based on an actor.
No. This is like
Bashing head ram in and out, she said.
skateboard. He has dropping pants. He looks like he's wearing a skirt. Doesn't look like he's wearing pants. Doesn't look like he's wearing shorts. He's wearing a skirt.
I have this one too.
All right, we got undercover Mahoney. Oh man, you can give him the Macho Man Randy Savage face. Hoodlum disguise, a sonic boombox, and a biker jacket. That's hilarious. Oh, so the boombox turns into a gun. That's pretty unique there.
Undercover Mahoney.
Which thoughts, man? Which thoughts?
Looks more like an electrician or something. I don't know, like he's got like a
Yeah, he's a construction worker. He just got off work. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go jam to some tunes. Yeah.
I think the boombox is cool. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's unique. I don't really got much to say on that one.
I don't either.
All right, so here's the mail away.
It should have been a mail. It should have been a mail away Mahoney. Yo, you get that mail away Mahoney? Nah, man, not yet.
No. Captain Harris with his binoculars. That's just hilarious that they put that on the figure. Nothing. Okay. Not much to say, man. Actually, I think this is the best looking figure, honestly. At least in my opinion. It looks really good. There's no, like, weird proportions.
What is this, a postman?
No, this is the captain of the police academy.
Dude, he looks like a Rankin Bass character.
He does.
Like Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Like a little drummer boy. Little drummer boy face.
He's like the captain of the love boat. Anyway. I don't know. We got Tackleberry in his SWAT gear.
Looking like a Notorious B.I.G. Oh wait, you're at a different one. I thought you were at the. Let me look here. Let me catch up with this.
Yeah, no worries.
There's a lag.
Dad said that Orion Zed McGlock is the main antagonist of the second film of Police Academy. He is played by Bobcat Goldthwait. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. The one who has the pants dropping? That's who that's supposed to be, is Bobcat's character.
I enjoyed when Bill Murray fired Bobcat and Scrooge.
I love that movie. I love how, like, one eye is painted darker than the other with the eyebrow.
Ah.
Like they put, like, some kind of ink on the eyelids there, and he put it up to his face, and it darkened his. He's got that.
Yeah, I think somebody might have colored that in, dude. That don't look right.
It doesn't look right at all. This would be yeah. He doesn't even look like a SWAT guy. He looks like things that we don't like in this country. Yeah, we fought against years ago.
Storming the Capitol.
Well, not that recent. You know, someone that my great grandfather would have fought back in the day. Because, you know, he was in World War II. He looks like a Indiana Jones villain, we'll just say. Oh my god. Flung high. Oh my gosh, this is so not PC. That's hilarious. Flung high with crazy kung fu karate gear.
Not showing me him yet.
Yeah, he's coming up here. It's quite funny. He has nunchucks and your rice hat that looks like you can use it as a megaphone or something. I don't know.
Rice hat. Oh man.
Your stereotypical Asian villain.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this.
I don't either. I really don't. I got nothing. And there was two of them. Oh wait. There's two of them. I'm not even gonna look at the second one. You got Kingpin. Wow, how did they get the rights for Kingpin? Dad, explain. I don't understand. How did they get away with this figure? With his name? Is it because he's got the monocle? Or the pimp chains? Maybe the Joker flower that, or the Joker attire that's, makes it not the Kingpin for Marvel? He's walking around going, "Where's my money?"
Oh, it does look like the Kingpin.
Yeah, I mean, like spot on. Other than, I mean, you could change the color scheme on this, and it would be the Kingpin, except for the gold chains. Kingpin in title, but not a name. Holy crap! He came with money in a bag, a suitcase. With okay, it's a thief trap safe. Say that 3 times fast.
Does he have a hole in his head?
I don't think so. He has a monocle.
Is this Mafia Vin Diesel?
It's about family. I mean, I'm sure my voice is as deep right now that I could probably pull that off. All right. All right, we
Yeah,
got
they just did a straight Kingpin ripoff here.
It's Hong Kong Fooey.
Just stole that straight from Punisher.
Mm-hmm. Larvell Jones, the kicker pack. That is ridiculous. Oh my god. It's not that I can't use Kung Fu and kick your ass. I have to use this heavy contraction that will kick your butt. And
Your dad says Kingpin is a title,
yeah,
not a name.
Yeah, I saw that.
Floyd, you got to be that guy right now. Well, actually, are you really gonna hit us with the well? Actually, Floyd, when you typed that, did you push the glasses up as you typed it? This guy, Kingpin's a title, not a name. Okay, what the hell is this shit he comes with?
It is a kicker pack. Dude, I don't know, man. That thing would be so heavy. Shit, I don't know, man.
I don't know what to say about this one either. The karate. Let's give him a name, like the karate. The karate homie.
The karate homie. I got that. All right, we got House. It's coming up next. House Snack Attack. He shoots a sub at his enemies.
No, I got another name. Instead of the Karate Kid, Lil Karate Kid. Lil.
Lil. Lil. Yeah, Lil Karate Kid. But we can't do that kind of question for I mean, we can't do that to Michael Winslow, man. That man is awesome.
This is the one I was saying looks like Notorious B.I.G. here.
Hmm.
It was all a dream. And they give him a hoagie for his weapon.
He got a Mahogany instead of Mahoney. It's a Mahogany. It's a hoagie blaster. Whenever you get hungry, I will be there to shoot a hoagie at you because to quench your hunger.
Vince, it's a sandwich, not a name.
It's a sandwich. Oh,
It's a sandwich, not a name.
It's not a hoagie. As my dad said, he did say he was answering my question because I did say, like, what is this? Did Marvel? How did they get away with this guy?
Well, actually,
okay. So here's the thing about this, right? Now this guy's tie is way too short.
yeah, he needed to do the Donnie douche.
Yeah, he's tall
and
enough
put it
to
like
have,
below the dong level.
or at least above the belt buckle, right?
Do you have to go to does he have to go to Macy's and be like, you got any ties in dong length? Like, Get to get him extra long ties.
Dude, I want to know where he went to like to go get like a giant hoagie to be able to fire. And does he have like an imaginary backpack that like he could fit 20 of them inside of that like doesn't weigh anything? Because like he can only shoot this thing like once.
We'll have a long tie, Vince. Okay, excuse me. Any short tie, okay, total disaster, excuse me. We're gonna put tariffs on all the Chinese ties, okay?
He's like, how do you know they're Chinese ties? Because of the kanji. That's Japanese.
I really like a tie in pink, okay?
That is a dumb
I
question.
like to golf every weekend with a pink tie, okay?
So this is Stakeout Sweet Chuck. Yeah. I don't. Is he hoping to be hidden mom's in drawer? Oh my gosh. Wait till you see it, Ryan.
Speaking of dongs, looking like a salt shaker.
I was
Looking like a
thinking something more phallic, but yeah,
like a fire
fire hydrant. Yeah, but
hydrant.
But yeah, salt shaker, mom's
Looking like you're saying looking like a penis tip,
minus mom's toy. You know,
a wiener tip.
he's ripped for her pleasure anyway. I don't know what to say about Rick Moranis here. I don't. I mean, like, he got bored making science stuff and then became a police officer.
Oh, word.
Come on, tell me he doesn't look like Rick Moranis.
You ain't wrong.
It kind of sucks that his like the flashlight's molded into the hand. And we got Zed. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. It's like the third like episode we've done. We've made the reference to Pulp Fiction.
More. We're gonna retire.
No
more.
We got Sky Gliding Zed with Hang Glider. Hey, at least he doesn't look like a hopeless policeman, right? Man. The vehicles. We got the Crash Cycle. No wonder he loses his pants. Ejecto seat, cuz. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not a bad motorcycle, but it's got training wheels. Do you see the training wheels on it, Ryan?
Hold on. Oh wow, it launches him. Dude, I had this Crash Cycle
Oh, you did?
back in the day, not now. I had it, dude. 100%. That's the one vehicle I had.
What's up, Borland?
Yo, blood.
All right, then you got the Crazy Cruiser. Looks like it's a thing for pound puppies, right? He's got like the chain fence instead of a actual car door. Why is there a dude coming out of the engine? Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you can extend it like that.
That's what she said.
Baby, you think it's small now. Just wait till
I
you
didn't know you could extend it like that.
just wait till you play with my exhaust pipe and it's gonna extend. Oh man. I didn't know you could do that either. That's pretty cool. I still don't know why the guy's in the hood of the car. All right, so we're done with the. What do you think about the Police Academy figures, Ryan? Let's give our little review here, and we'll move on to the crash test dummies.
You know, revisiting them, I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10, which I think is pretty good. I think it's a fun line. I think it was a fun, even though short-lived show. There's a lot of personality
Mm-hmm.
in this line. I can definitely see why it was like a 1-year phenomenon. Not one of the best though. It's not gonna hold up there. We're not talking like Motu status here. We're not talking
No,
even Thundercats level here.
I mean,
You know, we're like it's like a notch down from that.
I
But
could.
you know what?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll say after you.
Still better than it's still better than anything Captain Planet any day of the week.
So I would say, like, if you collected TMNT back in the day, right, and you had the cityscape of New York, and you wanted like bystanders to be in your background to deal with
Yeah.
the foot and the turtles, these would work perfectly for that, I think. I'd honestly give these probably a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
There's some good figures. There's some hit and miss. There's definitely some stereotypes. There's some stuff that probably would not fly today. But I mean, it's that wacky stuff or mid to late 80s stuff that we loved back then. So, yeah. All right, so let's get into Crash Dummies. I know we all call it Crash Test Dummies, and that's a band. But apparently the cartoon was actually just called Crash Dummies. Which I didn't know. I didn't pay attention. I was a kid. Now there's 60 things for this line.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This was a bigger seller.
Yeah. It went on for a while. So the blood, both of these were a cartoon. Police Academy.
By the way, Vince, I do unfortunately have to step out. I'll be right back.
All right.
Hold it down.
I'll hold.
You can go through stuff. Don't wait for me. Go through stuff.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. So definitely both of these were a cartoon. You know, the Police Academy, of course, was based off the movie that got turned into a cartoon, and we had some toys from it. Now, as far as the Crash Dummies, this is a cartoon toy brand, and I think there was 2 video games for it. I always thought it was a cool concept. My dad wasn't like, he was like, this is kind of dumb. And I get it. I do get it. There's a lot of figures in this line. I mean, you're talking about 60 compared to like 27 or whatever it was in that other previous. But, yeah, so let's get into this. We'll go ahead and get into the accessories first. We got the 4x4 Crasher. And a lot of this was that whole the gimmick, right? You know, what we used to see on TV, where they would crash vehicles in the walls to check the crash rating, and like if there were the survivability, the airbag would deploy. What would happen if you didn't have your seatbelt or an airbag? So you got some cool playabilities. They would you know, you'd ram them in the shit, and then they'd fall apart. Put them back together and do it over again. You got your bop bag, the inflatable punching crash test dummy. This is one of those things where they were just trying to capitalize on everything they could. And this is Tyco, as far as the guys that used to make the remote control vehicles and stuff. It started out as a series TV commercial about car safety. Yep. You had the guys that would turn and look at each other because they were in the makeup of the crash test dummies. The bot, holla. This is definitely generic trike here that could have been a part of any other toy brand. Maybe part of Captain Planet. Well, you can legit smash figures around and connect them back again. I was too old at the time when these toys came out, but if I was younger, I would have been all over this. Well, yeah, you're looking at 93, man. I was 12. I mean, we're like 2 years removed. I mean, 2 years before Chrono Trigger, greatest game of all time. So I was definitely too old for this stuff. Well, 93, I was still young then, but I never really saw the toys of Crash Dummies back in the day. Nah, yeah, no worries. You would see a lot of these at KB Toys, which is funny that there's a KB thing. So, what's funny is they had villain testers or villain dummies that the actual Crash Dummies would fight against. Break the front off. We got Junkbot weapon mount. Spare part container. I'm surprised they didn't make it to where these were all modular, so you could like make whatever vehicles you wanted. Crash and bash chair. This looks like torture for like little brothers. You know, Big Brother would come in and like, all right, we're gonna play with this, and they would torture their younger brothers with it, or sisters. Chrono Trigger is the GOAT. I don't like Chrono Cross much, but I've always have a soft spot for Chrono Trigger. I love both of them, man. But I understand. I understand why people's frustration with not liking Chrono Cross. This reminds me of like the Texaco station, you know, the fueling station for Back to the Future 2. He grabs the flying car and then starts pumping the gas. It's okay, rip me apart. Jeez. Okay. Alright, so then we got the Crash and Dash chopper. Get to the chopper. With the sidecar. See a rocker vice, yeah, right? Alright, so that's pretty cool. I mean, that's what I mean, like a lot of the vehicles were just crash test vehicles. Let's fit as many people as we can before we crash this car. We got the Crash ATV. I love how you have this like giant thing in the front that's your pressure plate or whatever sensor, so things pop off. Okay, that's a yellow one. There we go. The Crash Cab. This is the most famous one that I remember. They would literally like crash. The car would bend in the front, or like where the hood is. Wheels would pop off. The windshield would pop off. Oh, that sucks. It doesn't give you any more images. You know, if there was ever a toy brand that breaks the example that video games cause gun violence or other things, that like, you know, if you watch these things that you're gonna want it emulated in real life. But it's like at no point did any kid as they got older wanted to do crash test dummy stuff in real life. It's not like Jackass. You know, there's no Johnny Knoxville jumping in going, Dan. Well, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Jackass. And then, you know, he wrecks a car. I mean, that's the closest. But nobody emulated this show at all. Skid the Kid is such a statistic name, right? That's hilarious. All right, so then we got the Crash Cannon. Wow. Oh, you can shoot a boxing glove. That's hilarious. Go tell that to Jack Thompson. But there you go, guys. You get a little better picture, right? So you have the front hood here. So when it would crash, it would fold in half. The windshield... Actually, the windshield hood would pop off. That's crazy. I just remember seeing these toys all the time back then when we would go out and about hunting for stuff. This is the Crash Chopper, which we've already looked at the other version when it was red. Now we have the Harley Davidson Flames. I actually like the look of this. This is pretty badass. The red flames, the gold, the black. I mean, if they weren't Crash stuff, I mean, you could literally almost use these for like other toy franchises. Born to Crash. That's hilarious. We got the Crash Dummy Flip Over Truck. Nothing to see here, just a box. Is that... I don't even know what the thing is. I mean, no kids would dare to do that in real life, but I know about this generation. I'm pretty sure these kids were well educated. No, there's damn kids. Yeah. And Daddy Destroyer. Hey, you know, maybe the kids that decided they wanted to eat Tide Pods, right? You know, maybe that generation. Hey, look, it's Mario Kart. Crash Go Kart. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Pimp Daddy Destro. Yeah, yeah. Or Profiteer Destro now. Come with me, Baroness. We are gonna go for a ride. Cobra Commander has been pissing me off all day. Yum, fabric softener. Hey, look, it's a crash lawnmower. That poor farmer. I'm sure John Deere didn't had a problem with this because that looks like one of their things. Yes, okay. So that version contains the original card back boxing with the original dummies on the back, such as Larry, Vince, and Skid the Kid. Skit the Kid. Alright, we don't... I guess maybe there's a little better... This is Farmer Joe, Crash Dummy. He really is hurting for money because every time he tries to get on his tractor to till his fields, he wrecks his tractor. This man needs your help. Send money today. We got the crash plane, which is, hey, we could definitely have this toy sold today since it's happening a lot more often, which makes me not want to fly anywhere. But hey, you know. I'd like to control my death pattern. I know that's a low blow, but man, that's just... I feel sorry for everyone who's been lost to family member due to crashes, but we need to fix our shit. We got a Dummy Dirt Digger. Remember Super Dave Osborne? He was always wrecking cars on purpose. Dude, oh my god, Super Dave is the shit. You can ask my dad. It was like one of my favorite shows back in the day, just to watch as a kid. You're not wrong, Hummus. It's so good. Nothing says the 90s like neon colors, folks. Flying is easy. Landing is a bitch. We got the Junk Bot Wrecker. Say that 3 times fast. This looks like something the Dreadnoughts would have came up with. This is like the Thunder Machine 3. Instead of golf club, it's foots. Robot feet. Yeah, I don't need to look at... Okay, we'll look. We'll just do it. Just do it. Passing the time. I mean, part of the appeal of this show, or the figures, were the vehicles that you could crash. So it's good there was a wide range, variety of vehicles and things that were repainted, repurposed for crashing your figures into walls and other cars and things. If the shoe fits, or it shoots feet, sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, Dad, it shoots feet. The feet are coming for you. We got the pickup crash. We already saw this in a way, so we'll move past that one. We got the radio-controlled crash car, which sounds awesome. I wonder how much this thing actually fell apart. Could you still drive it in pieces? Real test car comes apart upon impact. That's kind of cool. Because what it is like you crash it and like near your parents' bedroom, and they're like, "Dang it, Tommy!" And they get up to go and see what it was, and they step on the pieces, so it's like double whammy. Then your toy gets thrown away because you pissed off your dad. Slam cycle. So this is the police car version of the motorcycle. I love how the eyes are popping out. That's great. And the ears. Alright, so last of the vehicles, which would be the student driver crash car. Oh, God. Alright, Axel. I love the stickers for the dented hood and the broken headlights and the windshield. Student dummy. That would not be fun having your leg chopped off.
All right, where are we at?
At the last of the vehicle parts of Crash Test Dummies. We're looking at the student dummy crash test vehicle. We haven't gotten to the figures yet. We got through all the vehicles. So what's your thoughts, man?
On the vehicles?
Yeah, just let me know what your... Did you have a lot of them?
I'm sure I had one or two. I had one of like the play sets, I think.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that. We haven't gotten to the play sets yet.
Play set I had.
Okay.
This is the perfect toy line for kids that want to destroy shit, you know, because you can break it and put it back together, break it and put it back together. It's what it's made for.
Yeah, well, I made the joke of how, like, you know, there's that talking people that sit there and go and say that video games and violent movies are the reason why there's violent things that happen, and, like, you know, but like none of our generation ever wanted to go wreck cars just because it's fun and we want to see ourselves fly off and our limbs fly off, you know, because we were taught that, you know, we don't do stupid things and we know things are fiction, not reality.
And the toys were there to rebel against that.
Right,
Our
right.
parent, you know, advice.
Okay, so we're going to get into now the actual figures that you could buy outside of the vehicles. So you got Daryl, the crash test dummy. Oh, crap. Hold on. I clicked the wrong one. I need to actually click the name. I guess his head spin. He is the tallest dummy and features head-popping action with his button when his button is ignited. I got nothing.
How many figures are in the line total?
Let's see. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. 10 with the main bots. Let's see, you got...
There was a baby one, right? I remember the baby one.
Yeah, that was like Skit the Kid or Skids the Kid. Oh no, yeah, Skids the Kid. Yeah, yeah. Hummus was just making fun of that one. Or wait, was it Hummus or was it Yeah, it was Hummus was making fun of it. Here you go. We'll go look at Skids the Kid. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
it's like let's put this baby in the car and crash it on purpose.
Yeah, no parent's gonna overreact or get upset the fact that there's a fake baby dummy that's gonna get crashed in a car and fly out the windshield.
I had this baby.
You did?
Yes.
That's awesome. Like after the crash, he's got like a 35-year-old man's voice with like, "I want a cigar," like freaking Roger Rabbit. Where's my stogie? Oh,
Man.
the cat and dog.
Looks just like somebody I know with a chin with a bald ass head that lives with his mama.
I'm not gonna say a word. I'm laughing.
I love to crash that fucker in a car. Oh.
Hubcap and bumper.
Up next.
Yeah, we'll leave that up to the imagination.
Yeah. It's ambiguous enough.
Dude,
now we're talking. We got a cat.
Yeah, it's run over cat and dog. We need to get these just to have, man. It's pretty awesome to have a cat. Roadkill, yeah.
What's the cat's name in this?
Hubcap. I'm sorry, Hubcat. And the other is
Hubcat. I like it. I like that pun.
Yeah, I do too. And then Bumper is the dog. Super Dave is such an old, so much older than you think, son. The character made his first appearance in 1972 too. I remember that. I know. We watched that
Super
stuff.
Dave, is that like?
I wasn't around then. I was 9 years away from being born.
Is that like the singer of Van Halen? Super Dave.
Super Dave played a character in the short Live Dick McKnight. Yeah. All right, so. Hey, we got pit stop. Next is the pit stop. Pit stop is modeled after Daryl, with the same exact feature, head pop. He featured some cool blue. I'm sorry. He featured the same cool blue as Larry. He is very rare, and was a Canadian Tire exclusive. Oh, damn! So we didn't even get this one. A bunch of these were floating on a website in 2007, priced at $8 each. Now see them all sell for $40 to $80. Very hard to find. Actually,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are expensive as fuck, dude.
we got Slick here. Slick was a dummy who took over for Vince. He later came out in 1991, and instead of gray, he featured an all-white jumpsuit. His limbs explode on impact causing his arms, legs, and head to disassemble or disarm from the torso. He is very rare and can range from 25 to 50 men on card. What do you mean this guy replaced me? What the hell? Then we got a spare tire here. Oh my god. Spare tire features a light purple suit. His eyes, ears, and tongue all bug out of his head. He is a rare figure and can range from 15 to 50. He is one of the original dummies as well in his light purple suit.
Yeah, another one with like the fright features.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And we got Spin. Spin is the dummy that took over for Larry in the later series. Spin features an all royal blue suit. His limbs explode on contact just like the other dummies, such as Slick, Larry, Vince, etc. He ranges from anywhere between 20 to 50 bucks. Mint on card. Easily.
You know what we need is a toy line, Vince, that literally has a mint on the card.
A mint on the
Like
card?
like a mint.
Yeah,
Like a breath mint.
Yeah, it's got a mint. or the figure came with mints inside of it, so like you got.
Okay. I think it comes with mint on card.
Yeah, mint on card. All right, so now we got. This is the bendables ones. It doesn't really give much to say about this, but this is the. We don't want to actually sell you things that you can swallow and choke on, so we're just gonna make figures that just bend in certain positions.
See, you know, I'm gonna do a shots fired on any Bendums figures. I don't like them.
You tell them.
I don't like bendable figures, Vince. You know why?
Why?
It's 0 points of articulation.
Oh, it is. Well, it's
That is a poor man's excuse for a toy. Parents out there, do not buy your poor kids Bendums figures.
It's the Z
Don't do
Bendums. Yeah, don't give them a Bendum. All right, so
Just like I feel about those duck figures, man. It's on Big Bad Toy Store. Those like what are those? That line of duck toys that are like a bath toy.
yeah, the ones that are themed,
like
they're like pop vinyls, but they're ducks instead of
They look like the rubber ducky you'd put in your bathtub.
So Spare Tire looks like he feels that he was in the Simpsons or South Park.
There you go. Hummus understands. Only Gumby should be Bendum. Gumby's the perfect for a Bendum, but nothing else. Just look at this. I mean, this goes against everything this line stands for.
It is. It totally is.
It's supposed to be a line that you hit the hit point and it explodes. And you're giving kids a Bendum figure that can't do dick squat for nothing in this line.
All right, Ryan. So my dad said, "Don't mince words, Ryan. Tell us how you really feel." It's not a good.
Not a good.
Not a good. All right. So.
Hey, you know what Bendum figures are filling up to? Every jerk-off antique store that thinks they have a fucking priceless vintage toy and they don't, and they got some Bendums there, you know? And they sit there, and nobody wants to buy them. Get that shit out of here with the Bendums figures.
Waste of plastic, rubbery material.
I'm pissed off as fuck that the only thing Roger Rabbit ever got was Bendums, that whole line. Mm-hmm. And now I get the fact that like they kind of look like rubbery cartoon characters, but that's the worst one. We only get Bendums. We got that would have been a perfect line for action figures with points of articulation. And instead, we only got Bendums for everything.
Okay, so hear me out. So hear me out, right? What if NECA got the rights to do like TMNT accurate? TMNT accurate 90s movie version, like how they did the detailed figures, but Roger Rabbit.
Amazing.
Because then you could have like a 2-pack with Eddie and Roger, all detailed. Bob Hopkins, in his detective suit, and
you can get a full size Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, well,
with
with which
Points
is
of chest articulation.
that is anatomically correct. Oh my gosh. Oops. Ryan walked back his hate of the all Bendums. Let me see. And then Orlin said, "It's the Karen parent, man. I think the times when they were buying their son toys, they were all too young for. Why the toys were like this were like, yeah, 2 to 3 years old. Right, exactly. That is true." All right, we got Slick here. And he's a crash dummy doll that blows apart. Crash them, bash them, they fall apart. They fly apart. Fly, whatever. What's your thoughts, Ryan?
What about like a crash test dummy where like the dick flies off when it explodes? Detachable nuts. Like your nuts fly off when you get in the car accident.
What happened, babe? It came off. What came off? I'm not gonna go anymore with that joke. A lot of
Ejectable crash dummy with ejectable groin.
toy figures use the bendables or bendums way back in the day to have even more. Wait, hold on. Days, have you ever heard of Major Matt Mason?
First of all, Floyd, don't you ever rationalize Bendums in our toy showcase. Okay? Don't you ever rationalize it. There's no rhyme or reason to it except for a cheap ass parent that only wants to spend $5 on a toy instead of 10 or 15, and they chintz out and get the kid a cheap ass Bendum that's not going to get any love because it's going to get like in the shit pile of toys they don't give a crap about. Because nobody wants to sit there and bend a toy.
I want to have a discussion with somebody out there that defends Bendums. I mean, like,
what if we found a channel that's just like the Bendums guy, and all he collects is Bendums fucking figures?
But I mean, I agree with what Hummus said, though.
I hate Bendums so much that I would pick like the non-movable PVC figures over a Bendums. You understand what I'm saying? I would take like just a PVC figure over Bendums, because Bendums piss me off because half the time you can't stand the sons of bitches up. Well, they flop over.
Well, not even just that. They eventually dry rot and break. And in the they're useless at that point. Give me a second. Let me pull this up. Dad's asking for it.
Don't you ever rationalize Bendums in here, Floyd? You hear me?
Matt, it was a Mattel Matt Mason toy. All right, here we go. Let me pull this up. Take it. Copy. Move it. Paste it. Click it. All right, so these are the ones my dad's talking about. These are the Matt Mason figures that were Bendums. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but what's your thoughts, Ryan? Is it too small?
That's what she said.
Keep quiet, pokey lover.
Can I let's see the full size?
I mean, there's some real detail on these figures, honestly.
Look, dumb is even in the name. Bendums.
Bendums. For how long?
Dumb. This looks like the fucking fleet from fucking 2001: A Space Odyssey over here.
It does. I can't do that, Dave. Come on, Hal. Open the Palm Bay doors. Sorry, Dave.
That scene fucks with my head. Like when he's in the room and he turns old and then he's in the bed. That scene is fucking frightening. When his whole life like flashes before him in like 5 minutes. I feel like that's like whenever I see that fucking scene, I feel like it's like my life. My life is just like 5 scenes, and every time I look in the mirror, I'm like 15 years older.
Well, that's
My
what our
fucking
life is now, dude.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's what our life is now. I mean, like, you know, if I stopped doing YouTube for just a little bit and then came back, I'd look even older, you know. But you guys see me almost like a couple times a week, and you're slowly.
That scene is fucking horrifying, dude. You
Okay.
guys, later tonight, if you want to get real depressed, go watch the fucking last 5 minutes of 2001, where just a man sitting in his room, and every time he turns around, he ages like 15 years.
Yeah.
Watch that scene with the monolith.
And then he watches himself be born. All right. So we're now into the junk bots. So we got the jackhammer. That's what she called him. These would be cool G.I. Joe villains or robots that Cobra made.
I would dock my ship in Jessica Rabbit's space station, Vince.
Or her moon station. I had to. It was there, man. It was there. He's the jackhammer with the car. You know, the charger intake or whatever for the head.
That would be the perfect porn star name, wouldn't it? What's your name? Jackhammer?
Mm-hmm. So only one of the 4 junk bots price range is from 15 to 30, so that's not bad.
Because nobody wants these ones, dude. Nobody wants this bitch ass junk bot. They want the original line. They want, if you're collecting crash dummies, you want a crash dummy. Not no junk bot.
This is the junk bot Borg. He is called Junkman.
Yeah, I don't care for this. I don't care for the junk bots.
Junk bots.
The jump the shark moment was after the baby. The baby was the high watermark. That was brilliant. Now, once we get into junk bots,
oh, here you go.
this is like looking at like Madonna's career, like late into her career, like what she makes now. This is just like nobody wants to buy that.
So
you want old Madonna stuff.
Hey, but at least you get a VHS tape, right?
The VHS tape ain't gonna fix the junk bots.
So Junkman is the evil junk bot and the creator of the junk bot army. This toy only comes with the Crash That Dummy 20-minute long 3D video. This dummy is very rare. It features a claw-type hand. He is virtually unbreakable, just like a bull. Oh my god, just like bull. This toy video is rare. Like it can range between $34 to $70.
Yeah, somebody would spend that if they're a dipshit. Who the hell's buying Junkman for $70? What'd you get, bro? I got Junkman. He's a crash dummy.
That's okay. You could have Piston Head.
Piston Head?
Piston. Like, you know, he's there for...
You pissed on him?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Let's see him.
Honestly, if you look at him in the head, he looks like the robot from Heavy Metal.
I got the spin-off line for this that's even stupider, Vince. Ready?
Right, alright.
Crash mummies.
Crash mummies. See you later, mummy breath. Actually, it says bandage breath. Then we got side wipe.
Side wipe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, side swipe. I did not put the S there. Side swipe. My brain was like, why are you calling one of the coolest Autobots this awful
Like
steering
when
wheel
you take a dump, but you want to stay on this toilet, you
Yeah,
just do a side wipe.
he does a side wipe. Dude, these are horrible.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I can't get with this shit. This is a great line, but these junk bots gotta go. Who the fuck wanted these junk bots, dude?
I think they were like afterthoughts.
It looks like a whole different line.
It does.
I don't care for it, Vince.
All right, so now we're
I would make this junk bots thing never have happened. Is what I would do if I was in charge. If somebody gave me like the mock up on this, like this idea, I'd say it's a no go on the junk bots. No.
okay. I'm only gonna go over ones we haven't done because it seems like some of these got repackaged. But here's your crash test center.
This is the thing. I know I had a playset. Maybe I had this playset. I definitely had one of the playsets.
Isn't that like a transformer? Yep, Side Swipe is a transformer. Whose brother is Sunstreaker. I love the freaking breakable brick wall. You have like the Hulk just busting.
Dude, holy shit, I had this, Vince.
You did?
I fucking had this, dude. How much does this go for now?
Alright, so we're looking at Crash Test Center was the first place that ever created for the Crash Dummies. It featured a brick wall that cars could crash through. It also featured a springing chair that launches Dummies into the wall. It also came with parts such as cones, stop signs, etc. The price range for a mint-in box is $50 to $120, dude. That's really cheap.
I had this, dude. I love this. And I would smash them through that wall all the time. I remember this vividly. I love this shit. This playset was gangster.
It's the impact zone. That's what my bedroom's called.
What's gonna happen with me and Jessica Rabbit?
That's what Ryan's bedroom's called, is the impact zone.
The impact zone.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, that's really cheap, dude. If you can get one for $50, that's a steal.
And like you hit that trigger, it's so cool, dude. They fly into it. It's awesome.
You got the Junkard playset, which is the villains. And I have no clue what's going on here. There's too much weird stuff. Box. It's like somebody's American Ninja arena training area. I don't know. What do you think, man? I got nothing on this. I probably would have passed on this. On the junkyard center.
I don't really understand what the hell this is.
It's supposed to be the bad guy's base. The Junkards.
Yeah, but what was the one I liked that I had?
That's the Crash Test Center.
Crash Test Center, yeah. That was good. This sucks.
Yeah.
This one sucks.
Alright, so these are the Pro Tech suits. So this is Bull. We haven't looked at him. Doesn't look like they break apart, but I guess it's these are more of the action figure style. Based off the cartoon. Oh look, he's got a neutrino wand. All right, and then we got Chip.
Don't. Yeah.
You talking about Chip? You're that about?
Yeah.
Okay.
No comment on that.
Okay. No comment. All right. Daryl. We already looked at Daryl, but this is a newer version of him. His head extends.
Daryl's pretty cool.
Daryl in Protect gear features head pop-up and orange Protect suit. We got Dash. Okay, that's not. We're gonna skip that one. That's whatever. Image is awful. We got Dent.
Nice color schemes on these though.
Yeah, I do like the color scheme. It's very. It fits with the branding. You know, it's not something like so out of the ordinary that you're like, okay, why is this figure in this line? This is the Soviet crash test dummy.
I must break you.
Yes. We have a red star on chest. We got Slick, the telescoping dummy. Oh, he stretches. What is it with the stars? This one has stars too. Okay, I don't know what it is with Spare, but he's making me look. It looks sick, dude. It's kind of like messing with my stomach a little bit. I don't like the color look on him.
Yeah.
Alright, and then Spin falls apart. It's like we're just getting into these weird extra ones because they couldn't figure out stuff. Hold back car crashers. Now that's cool. If they actually crashed. Hey, look, it's Lightning McQueen. Gotta go fast. Speed. We got Chip again. Looks like in a cop. Any dummy is very rare in the racing series. They rarely show up. However, when they do, make sure to jump on them quick. Chip is featured in the right corner of the picture of the dummies. He features a blue and white racing suit, comes with helmet, and has a very small ship. Or, yeah, wrong. What? Small ship or chip on the right of the head? What the hell? Is it spaceship? Is it a boat? And there's Dent, which is... Okay, yeah, see, that's a dip. A dip. Chip. I got nothing to say, man. We got the Jackknife Racer, which is your Indy car.
The Jackknife Racer.
Yeah. Looks like there would have been two.
Sounds like a horror slasher movie.
The Jackknife Racer. He chases you down and then he jackknifes your car. Alright, and then the rest of these are just repaints or re-releases of the other figures. Alright, so that's about it. I mean, it's cool going through both of these lines. What are your thoughts, man? Let's break it down about this line for the Crash Dummies. Ryan,
It's not showing for me, buddy.
I don't have anything up. That's it. That's the rest of.
Oh,
That's the rest of those figures were just
I was
re-released.
waiting. I thought it was the lag. I'm like, what are you showing? I don't see anything.
No. I'm just like, what do you?
I would give the Crash Test Dummies line an 8.
An 8? Okay.
Yeah, like lines like to give a gauge like Motu 10,
Mm-hmm.
Real Ghostbusters 10, TMNT 10, you know, and then it starts going down from there for like stuff that's not on that level. I'd even give maybe Thundercats a 10. Like I'd say like if you want to move down one notch.
Well, I mean, like
maybe it'd be like Toy Biz X-Men is like a 9 because like I think Legends improved a lot, but they're still like amazing what those figures were.
Well, yeah. Consider, I mean,
down.
I would. These don't come up with the level of like TMNT. You know.
No.
Transformers,
No.
GI Joe. I mean,
Well,
this is like definitely your B tier toy brand. And yeah, I'd probably get about a 7.5. I mean, there's some really good vehicles.
What takes it to an 8 is the action features, the exploding, and like that play set. It's so much fun. Like I had so much fun with that play set, just putting them back together and putting them in the vehicle. I think I had the car too, and putting them through the brick wall. Like that is just, you can't really do that with any other play set that I can think of that kind of like has a destruct feature like that. So that's why I moved it to an 8. Otherwise it would be a 7. I agree, but the action feature really goes a long way here.
So overall, I really enjoyed going through both of these. You know, and you see what I was talking about, how the color scheme's very similar as far as like the boxes. They're both red and yellow. Yeah, I feel like you can definitely tell there was a lot of love for the brand for Crash Dummies, and so there was a lot more figures. But I think like the problem with that is that over time, once you have everything, like as far as the main figures, you don't need extra ones. So it's like that's what kills the brand, is there's not enough to keep it alive, not enough to add something into it. And I feel like the junk bots weren't great designs. Some of them looked okay, but like they just, it was like, let's just throw things together and then like go from there. Like I don't really remember.
Junk bots was the fail. Like I want to remove points just on that.
So, yeah, and it looks like it was like hodgepodge. Like, you know, you had the Crash Test Dummies, and it's like, hey, look, we're gonna introduce the villains to the show, and it was like such an afterthought. Probably
fucked up the line with the junk bots. They probably put the junk bots out and then it tanked.
Maybe, could be. I don't know. It would be good to talk to somebody who actually, you know, kept up and followed that series and could tell us. But you know, so overall good episode. What do you like? I was thinking kind of keeping on the smaller figure but vehicle trend. Maybe we can do Mask as one episode next week. What do you think about that?
I love Mask. And what's the big playset called?
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
That's really expensive. What's that, like a $300 playset at this point? If you have that complete.
Well, you know that Loyal Subject.
Is it Bold or something?
It's a gas station. I can't remember.
No, but it's on like a kind of like a mountain.
Mountain range. Yeah.
Is it Boulder Hill? It's not Boulder Hill, is it?
You know what? We might have to do another line because there's only 16. Wait, really? That's not right. No, not Mask. Come on.
Yeah, I know what Mask you mean. The one with the helmets.
Yeah, for some reason. Hold on, I gotta.
And they're always missing their fucking helmets too when you go on eBay. Every time, like most of them are missing their helmet.
Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Because I know this line is much bigger. The other thing, the reason why I think that we need to talk about this is because, you know, at Toy Fair just recently, it was announced that Loyal Subjects is going to be doing new mask re-releases and then taking the brand up to a new level or whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. And at least with this, you know, there's a good 59 figures and vehicles and playsets to talk about. But yeah, you're looking at that. There you go. That was Boulder Hill playset.
I was right. It's Boulder Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I pulled that out the fucking left tangent.
Of your brain?
Back room of my fucking brain.
Yeah.
Boulder Hill. Fuck yeah.
This is Kenner, man. And this is Kenner too. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about Mask next episode. All right. Anything else? Any shout outs? Anything you want to tell people about that you're going to be doing for this next week coming up?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a new premiere commercial compilation every time I go live for at least the next, month or two.
Mhm.
So probably I'm gonna try to do like 8 to 10 in a row, just like I did for the toy ones. And when I do this, it almost kills me because I have to spend so many hours getting all the footage, which I've kind of been accumulating. But putting them together in 10 to 12 minute compilation increments. But instead of 10 toy compilations in a row, because I exhausted a lot of my resources on that, it's going to be like cereals and snack foods. I'm exhausting all the rest of those I've found. So a lot of 80s, 90s cereals, a lot of 80s, 90s snacks, juice boxes, fun stuff like that. Like more like the last snack one I did, I exhausted a lot of the fruit snacks. I did most of the fruit snacks in that. But this is going to be like a lot of just, cereal stuff.
Okay.
Because they have really cool animation, all the cereal commercials. And I've done 2 of those before, but I've just found so much more of that I'm going to exhaust that footage next and put them into 10-minute compilations that you're going to get a new one premiere every time I go live Tuesday night. So make sure, especially not to miss my next 8 to 10 live streams, because I got a new compilation that I'll be premiering on that.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome.
So yeah, like cereals, juice boxes, some chips, snacks, I think like Teddy Grahams, all those kind of cool snack commercials.
All the things that made us fat as kids, right?
All the things that made us fat, gave us diabetes.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man.
All the shit that we can't eat anymore, so we can live like what do you call it? Like live
vicariously.
Sporadically
Vicariously through the videos.
Live vicariously through the old commercials.
Yeah, well, that'll be awesome. So I guess like for me, no podcast this week. My dad did get his computer. I think he's finishing setting it up, so we're gonna try to record something probably Monday or Tuesday, and we'll have a podcast out next Saturday. We definitely will be talking about probably the first 3 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. It is really good, really, really good. If you guys haven't watched it yet, you need to. I can't wait.
I'm waiting till I can binge them all, because it's 1 a week, right?
2 a week. Oh no, 2 this week. 1 up to I think there's going to be like 12 episodes apparently or something like that.
But I don't like to do it like that. I'm gonna wait till they're all out and then I'll watch it.
Okay.
I don't like to. I hate when they have me by the nuts like that. Like they just give you 2 at a time. They got me by the nuts. Now I gotta wait every week. I want to watch it, man. Go through them all. I want to go through them all in like 1 week.
What you could do is just rewatch season 1 through 3 of Daredevil on Netflix, and then pick up this, because hopefully by the time you get done with it, well, you won't, depending on how fast you binge it. No, it's really good. There's a lot of stuff we need to catch up on that we've been putting off because my dad's computer has been MIA, or it died a cruel death. So his new
I'm
one.
surprised, like you're such a computer guy. I'm surprised you don't have just like extra laptops. You could just give him one.
I don't. Not.
You don't have like. Let me ask you this. So like every house in America, I would think, has their retired PC from like last gen. You don't even have like your last retired PC.
I gave my dad my last retired PC. That's the one that died.
That's funny.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, because like I'm thinking like almost every house in America, we always like, you know, every 5, 6, 7 years,
Mhm.
you get like the next gen PC, and then you closet your old one, right? In shame to never be seen again, never be used again.
Yep. Well, I mean, I have desktops. I don't have laptops. The laptop I have was the one I gave to my dad. I do need to get a laptop for just mobile usage for doing podcasts and things like that if I travel, you know, going to my dad's and stuff and then editing.
Maybe in the meantime, you just give me one of your old towers and have him hook it up to any monitor.
Right? No. But luckily, you know, he's got that one that Andrew gave him, and so we should be able to record and be on track again with the podcast because I want to get at least a couple recorded so that way they're out, and then I'll start rotating in people in for the live episodes again. But on Sunday, I will be playing Suikoden 1. This one. So I'll be playing that until I finish it on Sundays. And then Thursday next week, I'll be, you know, continuing where I left off with Black Myth Wukong. But yeah, so I'll continue to do my thing. And thanks everyone for being here. And be on the lookout for next Friday when we do Mask Toys on episode 26. So everyone have a great weekend. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us and discussing toys. Thanks for the questions. And we'll see y'all later.
Peace.